may seek
for America's most popular line of SUVs. Family pricing on Ford Explorer, America's best-selling, most trusted SUV. Now get a Ford Explorer with employee pricing for only $24,414. Save over $8,000 on the #1 selling SUV in the Northwest. No hassles, no gimmicks. Visit your local Northwest Ford store today.
Would you rather be proactive or sit around and wait? If we only use our voices, what a chorus we create. If we all join hands together, there'll be no task too large. We can only change the world if we take charge. We can only change the world if we take charge. We can only change the world if we take charge.
Get the bottom line during Nissan's model year-end clearance. The bottom line on Nissan Xterra, Murano, Armada. Plus a $339 a month lease for 42 months on the 7-passenger Nissan Pathfinder. See your Nissan dealer now. Clearance time happens once a year, and that's the bottom line.
1 minute more.
There are some criminals that can't be profiled.
I've left something for you. He's turned it into a game.
Morgan Freeman, Along Came a Spider, CBS tonight.
Gotta take care of our own. Thanks. Look. The mayor of New Orleans, Ray Nagin, is on his way to take the measure of the misery in the worst American disaster in 100 years. Most of his city has surrendered to the sea. The streets of the Big Easy are now subject to the tides of the Gulf of Mexico.
Too many people died because of lack of action, lack of coordination, and some goofy laws.
Bureaucracy.
Bull crap. When people are dying, bureaucracy should be thrown out of the water.
The oldest are barely out of college, the youngest still in grade school. And whether you call them Echo Boomers, Generation Y, or Millennials, they already make up nearly a third of the U.S. population and spend $170 billion a year of theirs and their parents' money. Almost none of it on boring things like mortgages and medication.
Have a good evening, guys.
And the world is falling all over itself trying to sell them things.
Thank you.
They've affected clothing, they've affected beverage, and now they're just about to affect car business.
Thailand, an exotic vacation land known for its Buddhas, its beaches, its brothels. But how about going for hip surgery, or a multiple bypass, or a facelift? A growing number of Americans are doing just that, combining holidays with health care. This uninsured Louisiana man had a complicated quintuple bypass. This woman from Bend, Oregon, a bit of an eye lift.
It turned out to be, it was just beyond my expectations.
I'm Mike Wallace.
I'm Morley Safer.
I'm Ed Bradley.
I'm Steve Croft.
I'm Scott Pelley.
I'm Leslie Stahl. Those stories tonight on 60 Minutes.
This Labor Day weekend, I get 3 days to roll out a masterpiece.
You can at the Home Depot, where you'll find the largest paint color palette in America, plus great values on everything you need to paint your home from primer to paint sprayers. Right now, get $5 off 1-gallon cans of Glidden Evermore paint, interior or exterior. Save even more with $20 off all 5-gallon buckets. And come to a free paint clinic to learn about techniques, color coordination, and more.
At the Home Depot, you can do it, we can help.
Hey, Mr. Opportunity again. If you're one of those people who likes to have choices, then you are going to love my next 2 words, Honda Clearance. Because it's your opportunity to pick the Accord, Civic, Odyssey, or any other Honda you want for a deal that's very nice. Come on, Honda Plus Clearance? Do I have to draw you a picture? You get it? The 2005 Honda Clearance. Now you can lease a Honda Ridgeline for $299 a month for well-qualified customers. I'm Mr. Opportunity. I'm back. And I'm still knocking.
Oh, check this out.
What is this?
It's to strengthen my bones.
Oh, let me see that. Once a month. Oh, wow, that's great.
Introducing Boniva, a new once-monthly prescription treatment for postmenopausal osteoporosis, clinically proven to build and maintain bone density.
Where did you get it?
My doctor prescribed it.
I didn't know you could take just one tablet a month for anything.
Yeah, with Boniva you can.
And unlike treatments you take every week, you only need Boniva once a month.
All I can say is wow. Wow, once a month. Wow, look at that dessert.
You should not take Boniva if you have low blood calcium, severe kidney disease, or cannot sit or stand for at least 60 minutes. Follow dosing instructions carefully. Stop taking Boniva and tell your doctor if you experience difficult or painful swallowing, chest pain, or severe or continuing heartburn, as these may be signs of serious upper digestive problems. You do the right thing to treat your osteoporosis. To build and maintain strong, healthy bones, ask your doctor about once monthly Boniva. There's only one.
People do anything you can think of. And the more respectable they are, the more they get away with it.
This is my community, and I am watching you.
For the city of New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina was not so much a sudden calamity as a slow-motion catastrophe. The whole country watched in agony as the floodwaters rose and houses, neighborhoods, and society itself began to disintegrate, along with the city's broken levees. 60 Minutes correspondent Scott Pelley's been in New Orleans this weekend looking into how much of what happened was natural disaster and how much was man-made and avoidable.
Well, all you guys, thank you. Got to take care of our own. Thanks. Look.
The mayor of New Orleans, Ray Nagin, is on his way to take the measure of the misery in the worst American disaster in 100 years. Most of his city has surrendered to the sea. The streets of the Big Easy are now subject to the tides of the Gulf of Mexico.
Every person is hereby ordered to immediately evacuate.
2 days before the storm, Nagin ordered the biggest evacuation in U.S. history. But he told us he never imagined his city would be abandoned, as he sees it, by the state and federal government. Nagin says communications failed and agencies dithered over jurisdiction while New Orleans drowned.
Too many people died because of lack of action, lack of coordination, and some goofy laws that basically say there's not a clear distinction of when the federal government stops and when the state government starts. And if you have federal, if the federal government takes over, then you're giving up some powers, or if the governor don't ask the president and the president don't ask the governor. And it was just BS.
Bureaucracy.
Bull crap. When people are dying, bureaucracy should be thrown out of the water.
You think people died because the relief was delayed?
There's no doubt about it. I watched a guy jump from the Superdome yesterday. Just couldn't take it anymore. We have 2 police officers that have committed suicide. They couldn't take it anymore. This is hell. And to have this happen in the United States of America, in the state of Louisiana, and to not have immediate response, regardless of the laws, is tragic.
You know what the national response authorities would say? It's a disaster. It's hard to get stuff in there. It's hard to fly the helicopters and the trucks in there.
Man, I don't want to hear any of that. This is a national disaster on U.S. soil. And if we can deploy troops around the world, if we can deploy National Guards in a confined area, this is a small city. It's about 500,000 people. We're not talking about taking over a country. We're talking about 500,000 people, and with all the resources that this state and this country has, it should have gotten done quicker.
We met Nagin at his headquarters, this shattered downtown hotel with no power, no water.
It's crazy, man. I'm telling you.
He's a former cable TV executive with no political experience. He won a surprise victory in 2003. This week, holed up in the darkness, he lashed out on a radio talk show, saying that distant politicians were bragging about their efforts while his city descended into chaos.
And they don't have a clue what's going on down here. They flew down here one time, 2 days after the doggone event was over, with TV cameras, all kind of goddamn, excuse my French, everybody in America. But I am pissed.
On the radio show, you said that the people who failed to bring aid in here in 24 or 48 hours ought to go to hell.
Well, I said they're going to have to account for that. And here's the issue, and here's what the nation needs to get ready for. They're seeing, you know, the starving people and evacuations and the lawlessness, and, you know, that's all entertaining. But let me tell you what's getting ready to happen. We're getting ready to drain this city, and then we're going to go and seek and find missions for dead bodies. And the body count is going to go up, and it's going to go up to a tremendous level. And then everybody's going to start to wonder, did more people die because of the storm or because of the lack of response? And that's going to be the big question.
Even now, some people remain trapped.
There's some people up there by that blue.
On our flight, Nagin noticed a man marooned and delivered the aid himself. When you were looking at your city from the helicopter today, Mayor, I had the sense that your heart was broken.
You know, my heart is broken, and, you know, it's a tough thing. When you see a city that you love so much, and you see it so devastated and so almost dead, and you wonder what the future looks like. I'm basically homeless now.
Nagin says the nation still doesn't know how desperate New Orleans was in the hours of anarchy, the 3 days before the National Guard broke through.
My police chief almost got kidnapped. He was trying to calm the crowd out at the convention center, and they basically got in the middle of a crowd, and the guys tried to basically take him as a hostage. I mean, there's stories that, you know, are unbelievable. Police officers crying, screaming over the radio, "I'm under fire, help, I'm running out of ammunition." My assistant police chief basically said that's the first time in 25 years he ever heard of a police officer in the city of New Orleans saying he's getting ready to run out of ammo in a gunfight. I mean, there's stories, people giving me babies, saying, "Look, take my baby, please, I cannot take care of it." You know, a little old lady saying, you know, "Just let me lay down and die." I mean, you want stories? There's stories.
You find a story on every corner when you walk in the dark, oily water downtown. It's strange to feel with your feet things you're used to seeing, things like curbs and flower pots. We were walking on Tulane Street when we came across an armada of airboats.
Where are you going? To the hospital?
Down to the courthouse. Go by the hospital if you want to.
How long have those folks been in there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
We know at least since the storm.
How do I get on this thing without tipping it over?
You ain't gonna tip
won't
it
tip over?
They were Texas game wardens heading to evacuate the biggest public hospital in the state. This is what their drive down Tulane is like. Here, the living have waited days for rescue, and the dead, of unknown names and numbers, wait in the debris still. Not a priority, not yet. We got to Charity Hospital as the last were loaded, and like the mayor said, here's a story. Hundreds of patients trapped for days without power. Dr. Peter W. helps run the ER.
In the space of an hour and a half, we moved our entire emergency department up one full flight of stairs. In an hour and a half, we had over 50 critically ill patients moved up stairwells because the elevators are shot, gone. No electricity, no power, nothing to do it by. So we were using flashlights and then jerry-rigged ventilators, everything else to ventilate, breathe for people, and have the critical care capacity.
But even so, Dr. Ben DeBoisblanc says Some patients died who might have been saved.
Tell me about one patient that you lost, that you remember.
Little old lady who sat in our ICU for 3 days, had a breathing problem, was on a mechanical ventilator. Her husband sat with her 24 hours a day, and because the electricity was out, while he would sleep, he would fan her. He would just try to keep her cool, and he would drift off to sleep. We got her over to the heliport, to the top of the parking garage, and her vital signs began to deteriorate. And we knew that she was going to die.
She died on the roof waiting for a helicopter.
She died on the rooftop waiting for a helicopter. I haven't spoken to her husband. I don't even know where he is. I don't even know if he knows she's dead.
There is joy in rescue, but remember, most of these people have no place to go. Prisoners of the storm are now refugees. One face tells it all: relief, then regret, and a last look at her job for who knows how long. The final evacuation of the stranded is progress. A huge military rescue thunders through the city under the command of Lieutenant General Russell Honore.
I want that on the ground so the trucks can go get another load.
Yes, sir.
You can make that happen?
I can make it happen, sir.
You the man.
Yes, sir.
He's a man the mayor calls John Wayne.
This is a complex problem. It's called a disaster. Look up the meaning of a disaster.
Sir, you understand the frustration that Americans felt all across the country when they were watching on television, people on their roofs, people at the convention center and at the Superdome for days.
Oh, man.
And people are saying, where's the Army? Where's the National Guard? Why is this taking so long?
It took time to get here. And who on that first day knew the levee was going to break? We are blessed in a way that those people made it to the dome.
The dome was a blessing?
It was a blessing. What would have been the opposite of the storm? They all would have drowned. We would have lost a hell of a lot more people. A hell of a lot more people would have perished.
Right outside this hotel,
Yes,
there are bodies floating in the water.
yes.
And to people who say, you got to move faster, you got to do more, when are you going to get that cleaned up? You say what?
Well, right now, I could either have these troops go do this or move the living. What would you do?
We stopped on Jeanette Street to find the Army picking up the living one at a time. The neighbors told us the soldiers wanted all the sick and injured brought to this intersection, so there they were, under the hurricane of a Black Hawk. It was incredibly efficient, but the neighbors could be forgiven if they thought this might be the thing that would finally do them in. As people flew off Jeanette Street, across town, sandbags were falling.
Getting ready to drop, and away they go.
And disappearing into one of 3 breaches that betrayed New Orleans to the sea. We learned something that surprised us here. Despite what you've been hearing, not one of New Orleans' levees failed. All of the massive earthen levees survived. The failure was in flood walls like this one on the 17th Street Canal. The flood walls are miles long, but only 2 feet thick.
You never know which way the track's going to go. And
Al Naomi is the man who manages New Orleans flood control for the Army Corps of Engineers. He was probably the first to understand what was about to happen to New Orleans.
the flood wall is very unforgiving. It's either there or it's not.
The walls were designed in 1965 to withstand a Category 3 storm. Category 4 Katrina pushed her surge over the top.
It just was overtopped and the water started pouring over. The support for the flood wall failed and it just pushed out and toppled over, and that was it.
What could have been done before now to prevent this from happening?
I don't know. I don't think
You know this better than anyone.
Well, yeah, but you see, there was not sufficient money or time to do anything about this. If somebody had said, okay, here's $1 billion, stop this failure from happening for a Category 4, it couldn't have been done in time. I'd have had to start 20 years ago. To where I feel today, I would have been safe from a Category 4 storm like Hurricane Katrina.
Shouldn't this have been done 20 years ago?
Sure, it should have been done 20 years ago. But, you know, what can we do about that? You have to recognize before we had Category 3 protection, we didn't have anything.
On Friday, President Bush came to see for himself and ran into Hurricane Nagin. The president offered the mayor the first water he was happy to see in 5 days, a shower aboard Air Force One. When the president came, did you unload any of that radio talk show stuff on him?
No, I didn't, but he was well aware of it. And I pulled him on the side with the governor. I said, look, that was uncharacteristic for me. But consider being in my shoes. What would you have done? And if I said anything disrespectful to the office of the president or the governor, I apologize. But tell me what we're going to do now.
And what did the president say?
The president basically said, Mr. Mayor, I know we could have done a better job, and we're going to fix it.
President acknowledged to you that it wasn't handled in the best way?
Well, he said they could have done better.
You're pretty frank with the president.
Well, the president asked me to be frank. I mean, he said to me, he said, look, I think I've been hearing a lot of stuff that may not be true. I want to hear from you. Tell me the truth, and I will help you.
The truth about New Orleans is, incredibly, that the worst is yet to come. Once the flood walls are plugged, the city's network of pumping stations will start to drain the city. That'll take weeks at least. But before they can even begin to make the city livable, they will have to deal with the dead.
Now think about this. Every house that's flooded right now, we have to go in and see if there's anybody in it, and God forbid, take those who didn't make it. Every building, every room.
What are you going to find, sir?
I think we're going to find a lot of people.
Try to give me some sense of what you think the possibilities are in terms of the casualties.
Well, let me put it to you this way. We think we evacuated 80% of the people in the city as it relates to this particular event. Do the math. That's 100,000 left. We've evacuated 35,000 people so far. Let's say there's another 15,000. There's 50,000 people unaccounted for. Which number you want to pick? 5%? 10%? 15%? I don't know, but I think it's going to be significant.
CBS News Money Watch is sponsored by Cialis. Ask your doctor if Cialis is right for you.
Good evening. $100 billion is the early estimate of Hurricane Katrina's economic losses. With up to 1 million jobs lost, unemployment in the disaster zone could hit 25%. And despite spiking gas prices, travel is up this holiday weekend, but not by as much as last year. I'm Mika Brzezinski, CBS News.
Hey guys, big news for men with ED. The Cialis Promise Program. Here's the deal. Try Cialis for the first time free. They're so confident you'll like Cialis. If you don't, they'll pay for a sample of the ED tablet of your choice. That's the Cialis Promise. Get details at Cialis.com. See how having up to 36 hours lets you choose when the moment is right. Cialis is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. As with any ED tablet, men who experience an erection for more than 4 hours should seek immediate medical attention to avoid long-term injury. Discuss your health status and medications, including alpha blockers, with your doctor, and ask if Cialis is right for you. Discover the Cialis Promise Program. Are you ready?
For news 24 hours a day, go to cbsnews.com.
At Stouffer's, we flash freeze our vegetables soon after they're picked. It takes a little extra effort, but we think it's worth it. See what's cooking at Stouffer's.
Hydrocortisone creams work fine for a dry, itchy spot. But what if you've got more than a spot? New Cordaid Anti-Itch Lotion. It's the only maximum strength hydrocortisone treatment in an easy-to-spread lotion. Cordaid makes it better.
If you have indoor or outdoor allergies, ask your doctor about something different. Singulair. While many allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of allergy symptoms. And Singulair is now approved to help relieve both indoor and outdoor allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat indoor and outdoor allergies.
You're clearly drunk. One more for the lady. Shark. D. Wait for it. Nide.
Kiss her, Ted. Kiss her good.
Kiss the heck out of that girl. You didn't even give me the signal. The signal? Did Marshall give me the signal? I didn't, I swear. I'm so fly. Are you trying to get me drunk?
For starters. To the future.
How I Met Your Mother. Premieres CBS Monday, September 19th.
If you've ever wondered why corporate America, Hollywood, Madison Avenue, and all the media seem to be obsessed with the youth culture, the answer is simple. As we first reported last October, the largest generation of young people since the 1960s is beginning to come of age. They're called echo boomers because they're the genetic offspring and demographic echo of their parents, the baby boomers. Born between 1982 and 1995, there are nearly 80 million of them, and they're already having a huge impact on entire segments of the economy. As the population ages, they will become the next dominant generation of Americans. Who are they? What do they want? You'll be surprised. The oldest are barely out of college, the youngest still in grade school. And whether you call them echo boomers, Generation Y, or millennials, they already make up nearly a third of the U.S. population and spend $170 billion a year of theirs and their parents' money. Almost none of it on boring things like mortgages and medication.
Have a good evening, guys.
And the world is falling all over itself trying to sell them things.
Thank you. What brands do you guys love? Sody, dude.
Patagonia.
Gap. Gillette.
Aveda. I feel like I...
Only a small percentage are eligible to vote, yet they're already one of the most studied generations in history by sociologists, demographers, and by marketing consultants like Jane Buckingham of the Intelligence Group, who uses focus groups like this one to gather information for clients like NBC, Chanel, Nike, and Levi Strauss.
How much time would you guys say you spend on the internet a day?
A couple hours a day.
A couple hours? Who would say more than TV? Oh, yeah. Which do you like better? Internet.
They're a reflection of the sweeping changes in American life over the past 20 years. The first to grow up with computers at home and a 500-channel TV universe. Multitaskers.
Hello?
With cell phones, music downloads, and instant messaging on the internet. Totally plugged-in citizens of a worldwide community.
Are you connected from the moment you get up?
Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Do you have iPods?
Yes.
Of course. They're required by law now in the subways.
They're giving them away at Duke.
Nick Summers and Andy Gissing are both college seniors and editors of their college newspapers. Nick at Columbia and Andy at Middlebury College in Vermont. And as such, they are both in touch with the Echo Boomer ethos.
Who are you? What do you like? What do you want? I would say that my generation tends to be very, very overachieving, overmanaged. Pressured? Very pressured.
I would agree with that. A lot of people work hard or want to do well, I guess.
And it's no wonder they feel that way. From the time they were toddlers, they've been belted into car seats and driven off to some form of organized group activity. After graduating from Gymboree and Mommy and Me, they've been shuttled to play dates and soccer practice with barely a day off by parents who felt their kids needed structure and a sense of mission. Dr. Mel Levine is a professor at the University of North Carolina and one of the best-known pediatricians in the country. He says it's had as much to do with shaping this generation as technology.
They've been heavily programmed.
the kids who have had soccer Monday, Kung Fu Tuesday, religious classes Wednesday, clarinet lessons Thursday, whose whole lives have really been based on complying with what some adult tells them to do.
This is a group of people that wants to please.
They wanted to please their parents, their friends, their teachers, their college admissions officers.
A generation in which rules seem to have replaced rebellion. Convention is winning out over individualism, and values are very traditional.
Who here thinks they'll get married? Who here thinks they'll have kids?
They're the most diverse generation ever. 35% are non-white, and the most tolerant, believing everyone should be part of the community.
How many of you believe in gay marriage? Everybody, no issue.
Historian Neil Howe, along with co-author William Strauss, has made a career studying different generations. And he says all the research on echo boomers always reflects the same thing, that they're much different than their self-absorbed, egocentric baby boomer parents.
Nothing could be more anti-boom than being a good team player, right? Fitting in, worrying less about leadership than followership. If you go into a public school today, teamwork is stressed everywhere. Team teaching, team grading, collaborative sports, community service, service learning, student juries. I mean, the list goes on and on. One of the impacts that boomers had on...
Howe thinks they're more like their grandparents, the great World War II generation, more interested in building things up than tearing them down.
When you ask kids, what do you most hope to achieve there? Where they used to say, I want to be number one, I want to be the best. Increasingly, they're saying, I want to be an effective member of the team. I want to do everything that's required of me.
And you can already see some results. Violent crime among teenagers is down 60 to 70%. Tobacco and alcohol use is at an all-time low. So is teen pregnancy. 5 out of 10 echo boomers say they trust the government. Virtually all of them trust mom and dad.
How many of you get along with your parents really well?
Oh, love them. Yeah. Totally.
They're your best friends?
Yeah. 100%. Don't want to leave home. Exactly.
Through sheer numbers, they're beginning to change society. They've affected school construction, college enrollment, product development, media content, and according to marketing consultant Jane Buckingham, they're changing the way things are sold from clothing to cars, because mass marketing doesn't always reach them.
They're not watching the traditional networks as much because they have so many choices. They're playing on the internet, they're playing video games, they're out and about shopping a lot. So the traditional 30-second commercial isn't always working the way it was.
They're the most sophisticated generation ever when it comes to media. They create their own websites, make their own CDs and DVDs, and are cynical of packaged messages. They take their cues from each other. A well-placed product on one of their pop idols like Paris Hilton or Ashton Kutcher can launch a brand of $40 T-shirts and trucker hats.
Where'd you get this shirt?
At a thrift shop.
In a thrift shop?
Yeah. So it's...
He likes vintage.
Yeah.
Buckingham employs the services of 1,500 young people scattered around the country and relies on their regular reports on what's hot and what's not to keep her and her clients ahead of the latest trends.
It's very nice. Very cool.
One of the things with this generation is word of mouth. Buzz is more important today than it's ever been. And that can get started on the internet. That can get started just through friends. And it's very hard for a marketer to tap into that unless it's really a product that they like.
Toyota is already betting hundreds of millions of dollars that it can create that buzz and launching an entire new division aimed exclusively at echo boomers.
They've affected clothing, they've affected beverage, and now they're just about to affect car business.
Jim Farley is head of Toyota's Scion division, which is quietly peddling its new $15,000 cars with air conditioning and power windows by sponsoring events like this street basketball tournament / breakdance festival, where they always have cars on hand for people to look at and sometimes even test drive.
People kind of just stumble on our product, and it's cool that way.
And you do that intentionally?
Absolutely. This is like regular car companies are on TV. This is our regular activity. This is how we expose our cars to young people.
70% of Scion's promotional budget is being spent on events like this one, only 30% on traditional advertising. And much of that is being spent on the internet, where echo boomers can fill out a Scion order form, customize their car with 40 different options, and drop off the form at the dealership without ever hearing a sales pitch. It's early yet, but Farley says Scion is meeting its sales projections.
How big a wager is Toyota putting on this that it's going to be successful?
Well, I think how we've looked at it, Steve, honestly, is that we can't afford not to do this.
Echo boomers have their own television network, the WB, and their own stores with multimedia presentations, even disc jockeys to lure them inside the door. It's a generation used to being catered to.
They are more protected. They regard themselves as collectively special because of the time in which they were raised.
Why do they consider themselves special?
Because they came along at a time when we started revaluing kids. During the 60s and 70s, the frontier of reproductive medicine was contraception. During the 80s and beyond, it's been fertility and scouring the world to find orphan kids that we can adopt. The culture looked down on kids. Now it vaunts kids, it celebrates them.
They're the most watched over generation in history. Most have never ridden a bike without a helmet, ridden in a car without a seatbelt, or eaten in a cafeteria that serves peanut butter.
Sometimes they don't know what to do if they're just left outside and say, well, just do something by yourself for a while. You know, they'll look around stunned, you know, as if, what are we supposed to do now?
As my mother used to say, go outside and play.
Right. They are not told that. They are not told that.
They're hovered over by what college administrators call helicopter parents.
You need to hold mommy's hand.
Protected and polished trophy children in every sense of the word.
Everyone is above average in our generation.
Everybody gets a trophy at the end of the year. It's something you're used to, and you have the rows of trophies lined up on your windowsill or whatever. And
Parents feel as if they're holding on to a piece of baccarat crystal or something that could somehow shatter at any point. And so parents really have a sense their kids are fragile, and parents therefore are protecting them, inflating their egos, massaging them, fighting their battles for them.
Dr. Levine, who is considered one of the foremost authorities in the country on how children learn, is now researching a book on young people entering their 20s. He's concerned that groupthink is stifling initiative, and because they've always been rewarded for participation, not achievement, they don't have a strong sense of what they're good at and what they're not.
When a young person shows up at work today for their first job, what do they expect and what are they finding?
They expect to be immediate heroes and heroines. They expect a lot of feedback on a daily basis. They expect great inflation. They expect to be told what a wonderful job they're doing. They're going to be allowed to rise to the top quickly, that they're going to get all the credit they need for everything they do. And boy, are they naive. Totally naive in terms of what's really going to happen.
Levine says that's not the only part of their cultural conditioning that's going to require an adjustment in the workplace.
I talked to the CEO of a major corporation recently, and I said, what characterizes your youngest employees nowadays? And he said, there's one major thing. He said, they can't think long range. Everything has to be immediate, like a video game. And they have a lot of trouble sort of doing things in a stepwise fashion, delaying gratification, really reflecting as they go along. I think that's new.
He calls the phenomenon visual motor ecstasy, where any accoutrement that doesn't produce instant gratification is boring. As they grow up, they'll have to learn that life is not just a series of headlines and highlight reels.
You call someone on your cell phone and they don't pick up, and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, that's almost what, you know what, we could be the now generation. I mean, if you think about it, everything is now with us. I mean, it's like expedite the FedEx. Make sure the phone has a camera on it so you can take a picture of the car when you get a ding. It's everything, and it's almost like just everything.
So instant. What would you call your generation?
Perfect.
60 Minutes. We're always on CBSNews.com. Sponsored in part by Lamisil Tablets. Ask your doctor if Lamisil tablets are right for you.
This Labor Day weekend, hurry to Lowe's for great values. Now save $20 on every 5-gallon can and $5 on every 1-gallon can of our best quality paint. Also, get a free carpet pad when you buy any carpet with installation. What's more, use your Lowe's card and pay nothing for 12 months on all purchases of $299 or more. You see, nobody works harder to save you money every day. That's our promise. So this Labor Day weekend, hurry to Lowe's for great values.
Introducing the biggest thing to hit Hot Pockets brand. We sprinkled cheese on the crust and baked it in for a crispier, cheesier taste. It's the best tasting Hot Pockets sandwich ever. New crispier, cheesier.
Hot Pockets!
Some things men don't want to talk about.
Like prostate problems. But I learned 1 in 3 men will have them. So I switched to One-A-Day Men's.
A complete multivitamin plus lycopene, which Harvard studies suggest may help prostate health.
Some things are healthy to talk about.
One-A-Day Men's.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad.
Bye.
Be good.
I thought he'd never leave.
What do you want to do with the room? Inner peace is kind of boring.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case.
Stainmaster Carpet. Always stylish, always beautiful.
These agents profile arsonists, rapists, murderers.
We cover the whole spectrum of psychos.
They think like serial criminals.
I want to coax a young woman into my car. Offer her a test drive.
They work for the FBI.
Tell us where Heather Woodland is.
Thomas Gibson.
We have fewer than 36 hours to find her.
Shamar Moore.
Just trust your instincts.
And Mandy Patinkin.
Let's start at the site of the last murder.
TV's next great thriller. Criminal Minds special premiere September 22nd.
60 Minutes continues in a moment. Now, here's what else is coming up from CBS News.
This week, gas prices are through the roof since Hurricane Katrina. Nationwide, they're already over $3 a gallon. How much higher will they go? Find out what's next on The Early Show.
On the CBS Evening News, counting the costs. Starting tomorrow, the long-term effects of the hurricane disaster on daily life and the economy.
2 unbelievable twists.
Oh my God!
New Survivor premieres CBS Thursday, September 15th.
At Weyerhaeuser, our brown paper grocery bags with handles contain at least 40% recycled fiber. And unlike plastic grocery bags, they come from an endlessly renewable resource. It's one of the ways we're making things people need while still protecting forest habitats for wildlife. Because when someone asks paper or plastic, he doesn't have a choice. Weyerhaeuser, the future is growing.
Kaiser Permanente. Thrive.
Come see the Geldwin tradition.
This summer, millions headed out to foreign lands for vacation, adventure, tourism, or just a beautiful beach. But how about hip surgery or a multiple bypass or a facelift? A growing number of tourists are doing just that, combining holidays with health care. And that's because a growing number of countries are offering first-rate medical care at third-world prices. Many of these medical tourists can't afford health care at home. The 40 million uninsured Americans, for example. Others are going for procedures not covered by their insurance, cosmetic surgery, and fertility treatment. And as we first reported last spring, the hospitals in these faraway countries are glad to have these medical tourists. In fact, they're courting their business, trying to get more people to outsource their own health care. Thailand, an exotic vacation land known for its Buddhas, its beaches, its brothels, the bustle of Bangkok. But for people needing medical care, it's known increasingly for Bumrungrad Hospital, a luxurious place which claims to have more foreign patients than any other hospital in the world. It's like a United Nations of patients here. They're cared for by more than 500 doctors, most with international training. The hospital has state-of-the-art technology, and here's the clincher, the price. Treatment here costs about 1/8 what it does in the United States. That's right, 1/8. Kurt Schroeder is the CEO of Bumrungrad. This place where we're sitting right now is the #1 international hospital in the world.
It's sort of ground zero. I haven't heard anybody yet who's told us that they take more than 350,000 international patients a year.
One of them is Byron Bonnywell, who lives 12,000 miles away in Shreveport, Louisiana, where he owns and runs a campground for RVs. A year and a half ago, he had a heart attack, and his doctor told him he really needed bypass surgery. They told you were going to die.
Yeah, they did tell me I was going to die.
You did not have insurance.
Did not have insurance, no.
Right. He estimates he would have had to pay over $100,000 out of his own pocket for the operation he needed, a complicated quintuple bypass. And did you actually decide not to do it?
Yeah, I did. I guess I'd rather die with a little bit of money in my pocket than live poor.
He says his health was deteriorating quickly when he read about Bumrungrad Hospital.
I was in my doctor's office one day having some tests done, and there was a copy of Business Week magazine there, and there was an article in Business Week magazine about Bumrungrad Hospital. And I came home and went on the internet and made an appointment, and away I went to Thailand.
He made that appointment after he learned that the bypass would cost him about $12,000. He chose his cardiologist, Dr. Chad Wanishiwad, after reading on the hospital's website that he used to practice at the National Institutes of Health in Maryland.
That's where he practiced for a number of years.
Right.
Every doctor that I saw there has practiced in the United States.
You never called him?
No, never talked to him.
But 3 days after walking into the hospital, he was on the operating table. 2 weeks later, he was home. How you feeling?
Wonderful. I wish I had found them sooner, because I went through a year. I was in bad shape. I couldn't walk across the room.
How was the nursing? How was the treatment?
I found it so strange in Thailand because they were all registered nurses. Being in the hospital in the United States, we see all kinds of orderlies, all kinds of aides, maybe one RN on duty on the whole floor of the hospital. In Thailand, I bet I had 8 RNs just on my section of the floor alone. First-class care.
That's what the hospital prides itself on. It's first-class medical care, which it can offer so cheaply because everything is cheaper here, particularly labor and malpractice insurance. You can get just about any kind of treatment, from chemotherapy to plastic surgery. Kim Atwater from Bend, Oregon, was on vacation in Thailand when she decided to combine sightseeing with a bit of an eye lift. Were you at all nervous about having an operation done in Thailand?
Yes, I was somewhat hesitant of having any type of an operation in a foreign country, and it turned out to be just beyond my expectations.
But not beyond her budget, $1,500, and that included a private room. How would you describe the difference between this place and an American hospital?
It's much nicer than any that I've ever stayed in the United States.
The rooms look more like hotel rooms than hospital rooms, and that's no accident. The idea was to make the whole hospital look like a hotel, and a 5-star hotel at that. Take a look at the lobby. Boutiques and restaurants to suit every taste and nationality.
Part of the concept was to create an environment when people came in, they didn't feel like they were in a hospital.
What's wrong with, this is a hospital. What's wrong with looking like a hospital?
Because nobody really wants to go to a hospital.
Would you go back?
Oh, I'm going back this fall, yeah.
Why?
I'm going back to see my doctor and have a checkup again.
You'll have to take a 22-hour flight, but there's even an upside to that. Is it true that I can pay for a checkup with frequent flyer miles?
Well, we do have a very unique relationship with Thai Airways. So you can buy a ticket, you can use frequent flyer mileage to get your checkup.
Whatever it takes to get your business. And this is not the only hospital trying to outsource healthcare, is it?
Oh my goodness, no. We certainly have not gone unnoticed. There are hospitals throughout Asia, throughout India.
India wants to become the world leader in medical tourism and might just make it. Alongside the familiar images of the country, teeming, dusty streets, poverty, you can add a gleaming new private hospital. This hospital opened only 7 weeks before we got there. It was already expanded. The hospital boom in India was fueled by India's growing middle class who demanded access to quality health care. Now the country known for exporting doctors is trying hard to import patients. The most important player is the Apollo Group, the largest hospital group in India, third largest in the world. Anjali Kapoor Bissell is a director of Apollo's International Patient Office. Why is it important to get foreign patients here?
It makes sense to establish India as sort of like the world destination for healthcare.
That's the ambition, that India should become the world
Destination for healthcare, that's right.
But why should foreigners come here? Well, it's even cheaper than Thailand for most procedures, with prices about 10% what they would be in the U.S. Stephanie Settlemeyer didn't want to spend the tens of thousands it would have cost her for the hip surgery she needed, and she didn't have insurance. So with her daughter by her side, she flew from Vero Beach, Florida, to the Apollo Hospital in Chennai. She'd never been to India before, but she already knew quite a bit about Indian doctors.
My doctor actually in Vero Beach, she's an Indian doctor. So why not go where they come from?
When you took this decision
Yeah.
to come to India for surgery, did any of your friends back in Florida say, "Are you crazy?"
All of them. Hardly anybody said, oh, great idea.
But she didn't come here just to save money. She came for an operation she couldn't get at home. It's called hip resurfacing, and it's changed people's lives. It hasn't been approved yet by the FDA, but in India, Dr. Vijay Bose has performed over 300 of them. He showed us the difference between a hip resurfacing and hip replacement, which is the standard operation performed in the United States. He said his patients usually recover faster because his procedure is far less radical and doesn't involve cutting the thigh bone.
Now that's a model of a pelvis, yeah, and that's the femur or thigh bone as we call it, and that's the hip joint. And hip replacement, unfortunately, this bone has to be chopped off.
Instead, Bose fits a metal cap over the end, which fits into a metal socket in the hip. The result, he says, is that patients end up with enough mobility to do virtually anything.
So my patients, play football, basketball, whatever you want, not a problem.
Right crutch, then the left leg.
Until the FDA approves it, the only way to have this operation in the U.S. is by getting into a clinical trial. But be warned, it isn't cheap. How much does it cost in the States?
I believe it costs something from $28,000 to $32,000 US dollars.
Between $28,000 and $32,000?
That's correct.
And here, what did it cost you?
$5,800.
Including food, service, nurses, the works.
Private nurse after surgery. And feeling always that they were just totally attentive. If you rang the bell next to your bed, boop, somebody was there immediately.
Sound too good to be true? Don't forget, it's at least a 20-hour trip. There is malaria in parts of India. Patients have complained of intestinal disorders, and if something goes wrong, you could end up suing for malpractice in an Indian court. And one could only wish you the best of luck. But Stephanie Settlemeyer feels she's already had more luck than she had any right to expect. By the time we left India, she was into the tourism part of her treatment, convalescing at a seaside resort an hour's drive from the hospital. Is this standard that when somebody gets surgery at a hospital here, they'll come to a resort like this afterwards?
Yeah, they suggested.
This, too, is not very expensive, is it?
$140 a day.
For you and your daughter?
For myself and my daughter, including an enormous, fabulous breakfast that they serve until 10:30.
I think a lot of people seeing you sitting here in what's usually called post-op and hearing your tales of what the op was like, going to start thinking about India.
Yeah, and combining surgery and paradise.
Get ready to have more choice. Sprint and Nextel have come together to provide phones with TV, walkie-talkie, music, and more. Sprint. Yes, you can.
It's not just another truck. It's the Honda Ridgeline. with four-wheel drive, a rugged integrated closed box frame, and a lockable in-bed trunk. Introducing the all-new Ridgeline. Above all, it's a Honda.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
Sound the alarm. It's Applebee's all-you-can-eat fire-grilled riblets. But hurry in, because they're going fast. Eating good in the neighborhood.
Hey, toilet here. Please stop the running. Not just the old handle jiggle. It's the oldest trick in the book.
Don't tighten the screw up too tight or you'll crack the porcelain.
Okay. Thanks, Tim. And don't forget to fix that chair.
Ace, the helpful place.
You're looking at an unidentified object entering Earth's orbit.
Our first contact with a higher intelligence may be our last.
People work themselves.
Are you yourself?
Now, these 6 people are investigating the signs and searching for answers.
Any idea what we're seeing here?
We're about to find out. Someone's trying to unzip our DNA strand.
There's a war going on.
You don't know what we're fighting.
Threshold series premiere CBS Friday, September 16th.
More than 40 million viewers witnessed the stunning CSI season finale. Just when you thought it was over, it's just beginning.
I think maybe Walter Gordon had an accomplice. This is between you and me.
Brace yourself for the case.
Could be a Son of Sam thing.
That will bring the CSI team together again.
Thanks for coming back.
CSI, the new season, September 22nd on CBS.
See you in the morgue.
One city, 5 friends, and the time of their lives. How I Met Your Mother, CBS September 19th.
I'll take the red one, please.
Dad!
The best values of the year will soon disappear at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales event now through September 5th at Lexus of Portland.
Tonight's programming on Coin News 6 is brought to you by Mattress World.
I'm Morley Safer. We'll be back next week with another edition of 60 Minutes.
Nothing was more important than treating my depression.
And with once daily Wellbutrin XL, I feel like me again.
And I have to say, it's nice that there's a low risk of sexual side effects.
Wellbutrin XL effectively treats depression with a low risk of sexual side effects.
It feels great to enjoy being around people again.
Wellbutrin XL is not for everyone. There is a risk of seizure with Wellbutrin XL, so don't use if you've had a seizure or eating disorder, or if you abruptly stop using alcohol or sedatives. Don't take with MAOIs or medicines that contain bupropion. With the nicotine patch or alone, there is a risk of increased blood pressure, sometimes severe. To reduce risk of serious side effects, tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Anyone taking Wellbutrin XL should call their doctor right away if they have unusual changes in mood or behavior or thoughts of suicide. Antidepressants increase these thoughts or behaviors in children and teens.
Once daily Wellbutrin XL really helped me.
It works for my depression with the low risk of sexual side effects.
Ask your doctor about once daily Wellbutrin XL.
Measles is a game you play and then you sing a song. Mumps are something that camels have. Some have 2 months and some have 1. Chickenpox is